going on, everybody? Joseph Habib here for Worldwide Sport Updates, your podcast, your news, your local community. Hello, everyone. Joseph Hadid here, your host for Worldwide Sport Updates. And TGIF, ladies and gentlemen, huh? How about it? Hopefully everybody had a great week and is ready for an interesting, exciting weekend that's in store. Looking at the weather, ladies and gentlemen, we're expected to have a hot summer. Well, not hot. Well, a preview of summer, but we're supposed to have a hot, steaming weekend. That's for sure. So, just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, stay hydrated and stay cool. Nonetheless, here on the East Coast of Allentown, Pennsylvania. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's recap the long week. And first and foremost, let's start off with some NBA news. NBA is considering a rule change on taking fouls. 1 free throw plus keeping possession. Fast breaks leading to high-flying dunks and transition threes are the most exciting plays in basketball. They're also some of the most efficient offense. Teams score far more points per possession in transition than going against a set defense in the half court, which is why the NBA has been seeing the take foul more and more. An intentional defensive foul early in transition to draw a whistle and end the break. Smart players have been doing it before their teams was in the penalty to take away a sure 2 points. There has been a relative explosion of taking fouls in the NBA the past couple of seasons. And the league will finally address the issue this offseason, reports Shams Charnay of The Athletic. Now, let's move over to some NFL Roundup news. Colts receiver Paris Campbell is ignoring injury history and focused on improving himself in contract year. Paris Campbell isn't about to let you call him injury prone. The Colts receiver, who has played in just 15 of a possible 49 regular season game in his career, is entering his 4th NFL season determined to put together a complete campaign. Frankly, his future depends upon it. Campbell arrived in Indianapolis via a second-round pick out of Ohio State in 2019 and caught his first career touchdown in Week 2 against the division rival Tennessee Titans. 3 separate injuries cut that season short, limiting him to 18 receptions for 127 yards and that single touchdown in the 7 games. The next season brought even worse luck, ending after a serious knee injury suffered in Week 2. And in 2021, a broken foot suffered while scoring a touchdown against another AFC South rival, Houston Texans, that landed him on injured reserve for the majority of the year. Eagles, ladies and gentlemen, have agreed to terms with cornerback James Bradberry on a 1-year, $10 million deal. Impressive, Philadelphia Eagle fans. To all the Eagle fans out there, how impressive is this that the Philadelphia Eagles are making some serious moves in the offseason. Former New York Giant Pro Bowler cornerback James Bradberry has agreed to terms on a 1-year, $10 million deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported Wednesday. The Eagles confirmed the signing. Bradberry was released by the New York Giants on May 9th due to salary cap issues that made his current contract unfeasible. Giants general manager Joe Schoen has had to make some difficult roster cuts this offseason in order to stay under the salary cap after previous general manager Dave Gettleman spent without regard. This meant that Bradbury's expected $21.86 million cap number for 2022 was not going to work out financially. And so, despite his contributions to New York's defense over the last 2 years, the salary space became the priority. All right, let's move over to some Major League Baseball news. 2022 mock draft. Former All-Star son goes number 1. When you're 2 months out from the draft, you have to change things up. Jim Callis had his full first round projection last week. And he and I are going to alternate the rest of the way, giving you a fresh mock every week. In my first projection, I had the Oilers do the old take a college hitter and cut a deal trick with Brooks Lee. As they've done the last 2 years, Jim opted to go with the best guy on the board in Drew Jones, like the O's did the last time they picked 1-1, taking Adley Rutschman in the year 2019. This time around, there obviously is no hard evidence on what Baltimore will do, but this is a bit reflective of some buzz that this could happen. It's a bit of a hybrid approach, a high schooler who could also allow the organization to save a little more money at the top to use later in the draft. The Oilers, Jackson Holliday, shortstop, Stillwater out of high school, Oklahoma, number 4. As I said, there is some buzz about this. Matt's kid seems to definitely be in the mix for the Oilers, along with Drew Jones, Elijah Green, Teramar Johnson, Brooks Lee, and perhaps Jacob Berry. Holliday might not command the same bonus as Jones, the top talent in the class, so the O's could get a high-end talent and be able to get more creative with their bonus pool. Diamondbacks, Drew Jones, outfielder out of Westland High School, Georgia, at number 1. The Diamondbacks get to sit and react to what the Oilers do, and it's hard to imagine Jones getting past them. If he goes number 1, then Arizona likely would look at Green Bay and his high ceiling, or Johnson and his plus bat skills. Rangers, Elijah Green, outfielder out of IMG Academy, Florida, at number 2. Words on the street is that the Rangers really want Jones to get to them. They want Jones to get to them. But that's not happening in this scenario. Green might have the highest overall ceiling in the class, even if there are some lingering swing and miss questions, most of which he's answered this spring. They could opt for Johnson or go college bat here, with Lee or Kevin Parada as the main contenders. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move over to some NHL hockey news. Flames Oilers Game 1 was everything we hoped for. It's fitting that a rematch of a series we last saw in the 1990s channeled the 90s in the most 90s way possible. And everybody loved it, minus the goaltenders. Everything we witnessed in Game 1 is exactly what we used to see back in the day. Old school hockey fans loved it. New school fans haven't seen it in a long time. Was it good hockey? No. Was it entertaining hockey? Heck yes. People aren't invested in this series for the pure hockey aspect. Sure, there are some absolutely insane talent in this series with Connor McDavid, Leon Dresselty, Johnny Gradeu, and Jacob Markstrom, to name a few. But the fact that we saw everything that wasn't conventional in one night, especially after a close game between the New York and Carolina, has to get you excited. It makes for good TV, and it's just getting started. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for this week. I will see you possibly on... Well, ladies and gentlemen, actually that's all for this weekend. Have a great weekend. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the latest sports updates that's happening across the world and across the country. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Joseph Hadid for Worldwide Sport Updates, your podcast, your news, your local community. And ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great weekend. As my sports marketer, ladies and gentlemen, I was trying to let you know and let you guys be fully aware that my sports marketer is now, he's currently on vacation for 2 weeks. But ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned last week on Sunday's podcast live that there's going to be new changes coming. And those new changes, we will definitely keep you in the loop on our sports pages for all the latest of what's to come. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, have a safe, great weekend. Stay hydrated, and I'll talk to you on the Recorded Podcast next Friday.